Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on Bandeirantes farm. This is by Andrade ML, Renegados Modding and Wesley Franco. 245.32 megabytes download. There are 14 required mods which download automatically. There are 2 custom crops. We've got carico beans and rice. I'll talk about those in a minute. Contracts are available. This is a newish mod map out. I'm catching up. We've had quite a lot of maps recently. It's been a bit bonkers actually since FarmCon and around FarmCon. It's been a bit crazy. Anyway, so Brazilian map. This has got terrain and real mapping from a region between the cities of, apologies if I say this wrong, Dovelandia and Baliza. The map looks like this. On New Farmer, we start with the main farm area and field 1, or sorry, the plot 1, but fields 1 and 2. Something of note, something to bear in mind. This plot is 1,794,456. So even if you come onto your own farm manager and start from scratch and you don't own the land, you don't have enough money to buy the land without borrowing from the bank or starting elsewhere and gradually building up to be able to purchase the bank. To purchase the farm. So that's just something to be aware of. On farm manager you start with 1.5 million and on start from scratch 500,000. So yeah, something to be aware of. Field prices other than that actually aren't too bad. A lot of Brazilian maps usually have big plots, very expensive. It's not too bad at all. There's no verges periphery of the map. Something else to point out, there's no forestry, there's no sawmill, there's no biogas plant. And that is not to say, I'm just saying at the start, on as the map stands, there's nothing to say you can't take a field, plant a load of trees, place a load of trees, make a forest. It's entirely up to you. And the same with sawmill and biogas plant. Find a plot of land, put one on if you want. There's some placeables areas around the map, so if you wanted to, you absolutely could. That would be, again, as always, your choice entirely. Down in the main town area, we do have some plots which are placeables plots for putting things on. We'll kind of look at those. There's a couple of small plots as well, so if you want to have a sort of start house that maybe you're a worker working for someone, you could as well. Again, we'll have a look at that in a little while. Just looking at my notes. Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about the crops. So under seeders you've got the 2 extra there. So well, it's rice, I'll say rice and carico beans, arroz and is it feijão carioca? Like I say, carico beans and rice. Seeders will do both, so rice and the carico beans. Planters will just do the carico beans, so you can do the carico beans with both, rice only with the seeder, and both get harvested with a regular header, as you can see just there. So fairly straightforward. I have got a clip. Actually, I'll cut to the clip now. I've got a clip because we have got a harvester at the farm, and the field next door, is it rice? Yeah. It had a rice crop on it when I was doing my kind of prep, and I thought, you know what, I haven't harvested rice with a regular header. I can't think if I have actually, so I thought I'd show it. So I'm going to cut to that now, just so you can see what it's like. Why not? Just in case it isn't here when I come back. I'm doing map prep at the moment, but when I come back later to do the actual map tour, this is what the rice looks like. Arroz. Let's have a look, shall we? It's pretty cool, that. Pretty cool. And this is one of the things that people have been talking about. I've seen comments, I've got messages, you know, kind of thing. That FS25 is bringing some cool new stuff to the base game. And a lot of people are saying a lot of the cool new stuff that the FS25 is bringing, we have already had. And it is one of those things. Yes, giants seem to be, you know, over the years, they'll look out through the modding community and look out through what's been put out by modders, and they kind of assimilate into the base game the stuff they like, the stuff they want, the stuff they think people like. So yeah, as far as having the rice and the long grain rice on FS25 and the ability to harvest it with a regular header and that kind of thing, as you can see, that's not necessarily a new thing, but it will be new to the base game. I think that's the point. But anyway, that's how we're looking. Rice on Bandeirantes farm. Right, we'll get back to the rest of the map talk. Cool. The slot count on all 3 game modes is 1,167. You start with all the same equipment, machinery, buildings, etc. There are 20 collectibles. Some of the equipment does need a little bit of repair. What I will say, you can't actually tell as much here. But what I have noticed as I've gone across the map, around the map, I know the field's very yellow here, but in certain areas of the map, the lighting seems very yellowed. And also, in certain areas of the map, not everywhere, the shadows are very dark. So as I was driving around, even where the light was on the vehicle, it didn't appear to be. So potentially that will need a tweak, I don't know, maybe. So, let's get around the farm and have a look. So we come around the sides here, we have got a cow barn, split into sections. Oh, required mods, there were 14, that's what I was going to say. On top of the required mods, under build mode, there's only a couple of bits. It's paint textures and plants, really. Cows here, 200. Unfortunately, they all go in the barn. I thought there might be a pasture or something. There's a lot of fencing. The fencing can be removed if you go into build mode. I think if you own the land, it can. But anyway, under build mode, like I say, we have got under landscaping there. And we go to our painting. We've got some extra paint textures. Quite a few added in. And if we go to plants, we've got a load of plants added in. That's the only thing that's been added in by the map makers over and above the required mods. That's generally what I show. So, come around here. We do start on the main farm with some pigs. Oh, I do like this actually. This is very cool. So you've got this pig pen here. Can you sort of click in? Electric fence. We've got 5 out of 43, and you've got the little panel here for the electricery. I like that. We have got a little gate there. We can go in if we want to check on them. That's fantastic. Come round here. There was another gate here. I was going to say there's not a gate around the side here, but we have got one here. I don't think we can close this one, can we? Oh, we can. That's all right. Cool. I'll say it seems a bit weird if you couldn't close the main gates. So we come around here. Barn and building space. In here, feed mixer, bale shredder. The animals do actually have food at the start as well, which is quite nice. So like I say, see here, it's not too bad. We're in the shadows, we're in the dark, and it seems all right. But it seems to be out there. I'm not quite sure. We'll see as we go around. But anyway, harvester. Some of the equipment does need repair. There is a bit of damage here. I don't think there is no... Was it the voucher? Didn't have any. Some bits do, some bits don't. I mean, that all looks dirty. That looks like it's brand new. That could be potentially why. But anyway, voucher, lime and fertilizer spreader, voucher Valmet just in there. Seeder on the back. We come around the side here. John Deere with front loader, bag, handler, leveler, planter. We just hop the fence here. And we do have a dog, Taylor. Kennel around the side there. Drill bit Taylor. If we come inside, we get our sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger at the farmhouse, just in here. There we go. Coming for his or her food, I guess. Taylor could be either, couldn't it really? Chicken pen. This is a cool one as well. This, we've got 150 out of 2,000 potential chickens in here. But if we open this door, as you can see, they've got some food. Things are being produced. We come inside, we've got a light switch just to the side there. And then we've got a switch in here so we can open and close the tarpaulin either at night or in inclement weather, or if it's warm and you want a bit more airflow, open it up. It's very cool. A bit further along, another tractor, spraying equipment for herbicide or liquid fertilizer, workshop trigger just here. this have a jet wash in it? It did. There we go. Oh no, it's light. Yeah, there we go. So pressure washing area here. Please turn off. I have had problems sometimes on maps when you turn on the pressure washer. Next time you go to open a door or something, the pressure washer comes up again. Don't know why. It hasn't done it on this one. I'm just saying. So I better turn that light off actually. So wash station just there. Bit further round, we've got a large silo storage shed. Another silage clamp just there. This one's 1,000,000 litres. Cultivator and trailer. Silo here. Across the way here, shed, and then bale and pallet storage here for 250 just there. That's the main farm area. Now, as I said, all three game modes is 1,167. If you decide you're going to get rid of the start machinery and equipment, and all the buildings can go, everything can go, including the fencing, you can remove the fencing too. I got the slot count down to 837. You can probably get it lower if you remove more fencing maybe around the map and that kind of thing. And the main farm area will look like this. So, from the main farm, which is here, we're going to head down and in towards the main town. It's all fields all around here. There are no sell points. There's nothing. I've looked for pastures and stuff. As you can see, most of the fields have got crops in. These extra colours here are the ones for our carico beans and our rice. So we're going to just head down, taking this area. Actually, we do own. It's like a fuel oasis. There's a there's a shed there, and there's another fuel point, which you could put other stuff in, whatever you want to do. If you want to remove the shed there, actually you could get the slot count lower because I didn't remove the stuff over there as well. I did all the stuff here at the main farm, removed the vehicles, I forgot about that bit. So yeah, you could potentially get even lower than 837, but that's only if you want to. So I'm going to go and grab probably the voucher. The clean looking voucher, and we shall head around the map. Fuel point, I didn't point that out, sorry. Fuel point here, is it 10,000 litres? I'm trying to remember. 10,000 litres, which you can refill yourself or have someone come and refill. It's up to you. Water tank just there. And let's head off. I think this is the big difference you often find when you've got a map that's been created. It's fictitious. It will often have far more stuff on it than in real life. A real life map, a real life PDA, however you want to refer to it, because it's utilising the structure and field structure and road network that's already there, and potentially as well buildings that are already there. You're often then more limited to how many things you can have on a map. But it does add a more realistic feel. Like I've said many times before, if you're a farmer and you're out in the sort of countryside, if you've got a 2 kilometre by 2 kilometre or even 4 kilometre by 4 kilometre grid around your farm, potentially there won't be any productions, there won't be any sell points, there won't be any workshops. It's just countryside. So it's that thing of, you know, map makers tweaking things and getting things to fit. But anyway, this is, like I said, this is another plot you own. Shed, another jet wash area, slightly different design to the last one. I like the fact you've got this kind of slatted wooden area and the water just runs off and drains away off your vehicles. So jet wash there, fuel point just here, another 10 or 5. I think this is another 10,000 litres just here to be refilled if you want. But again, if you don't want those, remove them. You can remove the fencing if you want. Put something else on it. Yeah, you notice, I don't know if you can see, it's not as bad actually. Just thinking, where's the light? Yes, I mean, even turn towards, I suppose it's difficult because the wheels, they're black rims with black weights on there as well. I just thought in certain places it just seemed, no matter what side I went to the tractor, it just seemed a bit dark. Oh, that's not too bad actually. Have I gone the wrong way? Right. Did I say contracts are available? They are available. And as well, when you look at the map and the field prices aren't too bad, I mean, they're fair sized fields. It's deceptive when you get a map with, I think it's called, what, 39 or something it said? 39 medium to large size fields. all with missions. Oh, there's this down here as well. Kind of not quite an oasis, but you've got this kind of lake area which then runs down towards the town. But again, this was one of those, you drive past it 9 times out of 10 because there's no sell point here, there's nothing but the time taken to make it, and it is picturesque and it looks nice, and even like with the reflection, the little mound off of it, obviously it's not all the trees and stuff, but it's cool, it's a cool detail. Just thinking, have I gone the wrong way around this now? Probably. Because there's a bridge a little bit further along with a ford next to it. Again, it's just a feature of the map. I think it just looks cool. Could have gone that way. And it was on my route. I've often mentioned that before. When I'm driving around the map, I'm always looking for that thumbnail, you know, for the map. And I'll often get one and think, okay, this is the thumbnail. Then I'll go elsewhere and think, oh, that looks good, or that looks good, or that'll make a great thumbnail. And it's a case of just picking whichever one you want. I like a map when you can go around and there's multiple points that you think, that's fantastic, you know, that looks amazing. And somebody has created that. So there's this bit here as you come across, you've got the bridge here. And you can imagine in sort of monsoon season, poorer weather, when the water level rises at the river, there's a ford to the left that you can use, which is great. Yeah, it's that just kind of ford with bridge and sort of thing you can sit down with an easel and you can do a watercolour. Spend an afternoon painting a scene. I know it's got nothing to do with farming, but it's, you know, it's a testament to the map makers when you've got something like that, you know. Nearly there. We're coming up on the first placeables point. Obviously you can place stuff anywhere at the main farm, but coming across here. So this little bit here just in front of us is a placeables point. You can purchase that little plot of land if you want to. To our right is the animal dealer, just there. We've got some grassland areas there, so if you want to be making, again, you can do it on any field, you can plant grass anywhere, but if we come to the map, so we've come all the way down here, we kind of just took a little detour into there to look at the lake, down across the bridge there with the ford. We've now crossed here, so these plots here are all sort of meadow grass fields, so if for doing your sort of silage, hay making, that kind of thing, but there's nothing to stop you picking any field in on the map, buying it and planting grass. It doesn't have to be down there, but that is there already should you want to. First sell point is warehouse 1. The other thing I will point out is the curbs are vicious. Look, I mean, they're like wallop. It's not like they're raised and the ground's, it's just like bump, bump, big old curbstone. Just be aware of that when you're travelling at speed. Yep. So warehouse 1 is just here. The frustrating thing, I've said this many times on map tours, is when you've got areas like this with one sell point on that you can't purchase. What is a plus on this one, I guess, is that whilst that is the case, so we are down here, you can buy plot 44. Plot 43 is just there with the building on it as well. They can be purchased, 129 grand, 41 grand, for placeables, but you've got all these large areas. That's the vehicle store, especially here and over here. This as well, this was, I personally just find it frustrating. You have to remember, this is just my personal opinion. When I'm doing a map tour, this is just my opinion as I'm going around. Of what I observe, what I think from extensive playing on maps and playing the game for a very long time, and also when people message me and ask me questions, and I know certain ways people like to play, it always surprises me when you get situations like this. But again, the map makers have designed it the way they wanted it. So that's a placeables point just there, next to that building. So again, if you want to put a sell point in there or make it into something else, you absolutely can. Just across the way there is your vehicle shop and workshop trigger. Got a gas station just there. Just nip across it. This is the reset point on the map as well, so if you need to reset anything or anything gets stuck or you have a problem, So workshop or vehicle shop is just in there, workshop trigger just to the side, and reset point is on this large area here. Plenty of space, no problem for large machinery and equipment. We come out of here. Barriers are pretty quick as well, which is a nice one. Often when you approach them at speed, sometimes you can get caught up, but they seem to be pretty quick reacting. We come to the dairy. Now the dairy is a curious one, and again, I don't think I've encountered this before. I'm just going to put up here, hopefully it won't be in the way of anyone. So we got some extra points here at the dairy, and I thought, that's curious, I wonder why that is. Did I mention I borrowed some money from the bank? On New Farm you start with 100,000, I've obviously put some money in, that's why it's saying 1.5 million. I'm not on Farm Manager or anything like that. So if we buy the dairy, butter, cheese and chocolate, but it requires milk, wood and sugar. So I'm assuming for part of the process, whether they're running a furnace or whatever they're doing, maybe to, I don't know, heat stuff up, prepare whatever they're doing for chocolate and stuff. So you have to bring wood here as well. And your wood point for dropping off is just there, and your little trigger there for sell wood. A curious dairy. I've blocked the traffic. I shall extricate myself from the situation. One of the buyable plots for potentially a farmhouse, there's two small plots here in the main town, one of them's here. So again, if you want to set up your own, like I say, if you're a farm worker, we've got this one here, 41 and 42 just there. They're not very expensive, and they're open plots, so you can put a little farmhouse, sleep trigger, tent, whatever you want on there, it's entirely up to you. Or again, potentially a sell point or a production. Whatever you're in the mood for. So, back out to the main road, I guess. We've got the supermarket just here, so the sell point's just around behind it. We've got a bale sell point just over there. And then turn in here, we've got textiles. Now these are all sell points, it's not a spinnery or anything like that, that's just a sell point. But again with these, you've got large open areas you can't purchase. Couple of longer drives now. So we're coming up on warehouse 2. Which is just here. The other way. And now we're heading over to the sugarcane plant. I mean, all the things I'm saying, like I say, I'm not taking anything away from the map. It's a lovely looking map. It's nicely done. So this sugarcane plant, a lot of the Brazilian maps have a sugarcane plant like this. So part of the sugarcane process, when it's all being processed, you get a slurry sort of liquor mixture, and then you get the solids that come out as a byproduct, filter pie. So that's the sort of the stuff left over. So this, in essence, this is a manure buying point. So you can come and buy manure here, which you can put through your muck spreaders and things like that, or greenhouses or whatever it is that are using it. A little bit further over, we've got a slurry buy point, so that's a buy point, and then we've got a slurry buy point. So we've got a sort of slurry basin just there, and then just around there is your slurry buy point, and then in through, where is it? In through here, we've got the sugarcane plant sell point just there. Now from here, again a bit of a drive. We're coming back out of the main town. This is interesting, that kind of wrought iron railing all the way along there. certainly a different fence choice, isn't it? It's interesting how these big facilities, I know at the main gates of places, it's almost like a military checkpoint, isn't it? Right, we'll cut, there's nothing in the field, we'll cut directly across here. Actually, I'll show on the map where we are and where we've been. So we came into the main town, did the animal dealer, and then went to warehouse 1, and there was the potential placeables point there. Vehicle shop there with a gas station, and we went across to the dairy that requires the wood as well. Came past the supermarket, bale sell point, and the textile sell point. Then we came up around there to warehouse 2, then across there, manure buy point, slurry buy point, and sugarcane plant. We've now followed this road out, and we've gone along this track, and we're coming across here, and we're heading out to this point just here. From there, you can look across. We can look straight across to the farm, which is literally there. Where is it? Looking for the buildings. It's over that direction. It's not far. Oh, there you go. You see the buildings there. So, a bit of a winding route round, and this is, like I say, again, it's just a personal thing. It's every, again, that's a sweeping statement. I'm kind of, generic. A lot of Brazilian maps, let's just say that, have a sugarcane plant somewhere on it because it's, it's the area. That's the sort of crops and stuff they produce. They all seem to have a quarry of some description. Now, this has got a lime station. Now, many maps you go on will just have a silo that's a lime station. Some maps have multiple around the maps. The only frustrating thing I've found and finding is with this. It's a long drive out to a lime station and a plot of land that you can't purchase. So whilst it is a quarry, sort of, you couldn't even, when you come onto here, decide, actually I'm going to make that into a full-blown quarry. I'm going to put stone there, I'm going to put lime there, I'm going to put more productions there that are related to stone and lime and that kind of thing. I mean, even if you came all this way and there was a load of rock and stuff, you could buy maybe the quarry and then do productions that require it. But the fact you can't buy the land and there's nothing else on here other than just a lime station, again, I'm just saying that how I feel about it. I feel like it's almost a wasted space. Does that seem right or fair? I don't know. And this is the other side of map tours and map reviews. When people say, oh, you never say anything bad about maps. I never like to say anything bad about maps. I always like to find the positives. But if there are things that I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I will say that. Of course I will. What's the point of a map tour and a map review if you don't? So, right there, lime station. So we have come across, as I said, we've wound our way around, all around here, to this plot here with the lime station, and that is the map. That's Bandeirantes Farm by Andrade ML, Renegados Modding and Wesley Franco. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. I hope when I do these map tours, it just gives you an insight and helps you to make a decision on whether it's a map you might want to play on. You might make that decision in spite of what I've said or because of what I've said. You might say, I don't agree with what you're saying at all, I'm going to play on it. That's the whole point of a map tour. Absolutely a map tour. But anyway, whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.